Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Detroit Lions are sitting pretty at 5-2 this season. They've been showing a lot of grit, a lot of resilience, and a lot of that Detroit toughness that's been missing for so long. But behind the scenes, there's a buzz, a real buzz, that could take this team to an entirely new level. And it all revolves around a bold move, a potential trade that could reshape the NFC North and shake up the entire league. We're talking about Jermaine Johnson, a player who's been making waves, especially in recent weeks, and a move that could make the Lions even more formidable on defense. But let's set the stage a little bit, because this isn't just about one player. It's about a strategic shift, about how Detroit can leverage this opportunity to build something lasting. First, let's talk about the current state of the Lions. They're sitting at 5-2, which is impressive, especially considering the challenges they've faced. The offense has been clicking under Jared Goff, who's been playing at a high level, connecting well with players like Amon-Ra St. Brown, whose YAC yards continue to be a nightmare for opposing defenses. But the defense, while decent, has struggled with consistency, particularly in pressuring the quarterback. They rank around 15th in sacks, averaging just 2. 3 per game, which isn't terrible but isn't enough when you're vying for a deep playoff run. And here's where the injury bug has bitten. Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions' star pass rusher, is out for the season after suffering a significant injury. Losing Hutchinson, who had 6 sacks so far this season, leaves a massive void on the edge. It's no secret that Detroit needs to find ways to generate more pressure, more chaos for opposing quarterbacks if they want to take the next step. Enter Jermaine Johnson. Now, this is a player who's been emerging as a true force on the edge. Drafted in 2022 out of Florida State, Johnson has shown flashes of brilliance. He's got a career total of 18 sacks, 120 pressures, and an impressive PFF grade of 82. 3 in 2025, ranking him among the top 20 edge rushers in the league. He's a 6'5", 262-pound athlete with explosive burst, a max speed of around 20 miles per hour in pursuits, and a knack for winning against blockers. His recent form has been particularly noteworthy. Just last season, in Week 4, he sacked Mac Jones twice against the Patriots, and he's been a consistent threat in both run defense and pass rush situations. He's also dealt with some injuries, like an ankle issue in 2024 that limited him for a couple of games, but his overall impact when healthy is undeniable. And that's what makes him such an intriguing target for Detroit. Now, sources close to the league, including some reputable insiders like Adam Schefter, are whispering that the New York Jets, who are struggling with a 2-5 record, are seriously considering parting ways with Johnson. Why? Because the Jets are in a tight cap situation, projected to have around $10 million in cap space for 2026, and they're looking to rebuild quickly. They're also desperate for help in their secondary, which has allowed 25 points per game this season, and they see this trade as a way to free up cap space, around $9 million, so they can prioritize extensions for key offensive linemen like Becton. The Jets are eyeing a rebuild and see acquiring a first-round pick in 2026 as a way to accelerate that process. It's a bold move, but one that's gaining traction, especially given Johnson's rising stock and his ability to impact games immediately. But why would Detroit be interested? Well, let's talk about the Lions' needs. They're sitting with about $25 million in cap space, which is substantial, and they're looking to bolster their pass rush after losing Hutchinson. Jermaine Johnson, as a rising star, fits the bill perfectly. He's not just a guy who can rush the passer. He's an athlete with a high motor, great instincts, and the ability to make plays in multiple ways. His pressure rate and win percentage, around 21%, show that he's a consistent threat to opposing offensive lines. His EPA per rush is 28, which indicates he's effective when rushing the quarterback. Plus, he's accumulated 6-5 sacks this season, adding to his resume as a proven playmaker. His athleticism grade of 88 and his ability to reach max speeds in pursuit make him a nightmare for left tackles and right tackles alike. And let's not forget, with Hutchinson out, the Lions need someone who can step in and provide that explosion off the edge. Davenport is expected to return soon, but adding Johnson would give Detroit a dynamic duo on the edge, one that's capable of not only sacking the quarterback, but also disrupting the entire offense. The potential combination of Johnson and Davenport could be a game changer, especially considering Johnson's recent performances. In 2025, he had 6.5 sacks, 35 pressures, and a win rate of 21%, which are eye-popping numbers for a young edge rusher. He's also shown the ability to win in different ways, whether with bull rushes, speed rushes, or using his length and athleticism to get around blockers. Now let's talk about the impact of this potential trade on Detroit's season. If they manage to acquire Johnson, it could be transformative. His addition would likely increase their win rate by around 19%, based on projections, and could push their total sacks to over 26 for the season, considering they already have 15. The front seven with Davenport, Johnson, and the remaining linebackers would be a nightmare for any offense. It would also cut down on the opponent's rushing touchdowns, which currently stand at 8, reducing it to around 5. That's significant, folks, because red zone efficiency is crucial in close games. And with the secondary gaining more time to cover, thanks to increased pressure, the Lions could see an uptick in turnovers, perhaps around 11 more takeaways, and a drop in points allowed from 20 to 17 per game. That's a huge difference when it comes playoff time. Looking at the broader picture, this move wouldn't just be about this season. It's about establishing a culture of aggressiveness, a mentality of winning now but also building for the future. Jermaine Johnson's burst, his explosiveness, and his ability to impact games are reminiscent of some of the great pass rushers in recent history. If he can continue on this trajectory, he could become a cornerstone of Detroit's defense for years to come. Plus, with the team's commitment to a balanced attack, Montgomery's running game averaging 4.3 yards per carry, and St. Brown's ability to rack up yards after the catch. Adding a disruptive edge rusher like Johnson would make the Lions' offense even more dangerous, forcing opponents to respect the pass and open up running lanes. Now, let's consider what this means for the NFC North and the league as a whole. The Vikings, who are currently sitting at plus 900 odds to win the division, could find themselves more vulnerable if Detroit's defense gets a boost. The Super Bowl odds for the Lions could improve dramatically, moving from around plus 700 to plus 300 if they pull off this trade and continue their winning ways. Imagine a Lions team with a revitalized pass rush, able to contain top-tier quarterbacks, and a secondary that can capitalize on turnovers. It would position Detroit as a serious contender, not just a dark horse, but a legitimate threat to make a deep playoff run and maybe even challenge for a Super Bowl appearance. And speaking of Super Bowls, this kind of move is what separates good teams from great teams. It's about making bold decisions at the right moments, about understanding that building a championship-caliber roster sometimes means taking risks. Jermaine Johnson's potential addition to Detroit could be that kind of risk, one that pays off in a big way. And it's not just about this season. It's about setting a tone, about creating a legacy that echoes back to the fierce defenses of the 70s, but with a modern, explosive twist. The Lions have been building steadily over the past few seasons, but this move could be the catalyst that elevates them from playoff hopefuls to Super Bowl contenders. In conclusion, the possibility of Detroit acquiring Jermaine Johnson is one of the most exciting developments we've seen in recent weeks. It's a move that combines strategic cap management, a keen eye for rising talent, and a bold vision for what this team can become. The impact on the Lions' defense would be profound, boosting their ability to pressure the quarterback, create turnovers, and dominate on third down. It also sends a message across the league that Detroit is serious about competing at the highest level, that they're willing to make bold moves to bring a championship home. The next few weeks will be critical as the trade deadline approaches and the NFL landscape continues to shift. But one thing is for sure, if this trade happens, Lions fans, we're all in for a wild ride, and the future of Detroit's defense might look very different come next season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Are you excited about the potential trade for Jermaine Johnson? Do you believe this move could be the missing piece that propels Detroit into serious Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Lions. Remember, this is a team that's been building for years, and with moves like these, they're rewriting their story. I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news about the Detroit Lions, so stay tuned and keep that Lions pride alive. This season could be one of the most exciting in recent history, and it's all happening right here, so don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions.